Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down here at beautiful Haulover Inlet, Miami, Florida. It's not a real crazy day. We've got about a 12-mile-an-hour wind, but it'll still be interesting to see how our captains fare as they do battle with the inlet. And this is going to bring us to the first round of our contest, and here in the first round, the boats have decided they're going to toss a Tidewater in the ring to see how it can fare against Haulover. But let's get this competition rolling, and our crew is starting to work their way out of the inlet. Coming at it at a little bit of a slower pace, they've got the boat going just fast enough to try and keep that bow up though, which is key. Even on a day like today, the last thing you want to do is wind up stuffing it on your way out of the inlet. So Cap leans into the throttles a little bit to try and keep it up, but slows down here last second. They're looking at something, but he's got to be careful. When you slow down in the inlet like that, it can catch you off guard, and Wifey's going to stand up and come up to the helm, and Cap's going to go back into the throttle. I'm not sure what they were looking at on this one, but still they look okay as they make their way out, and I think they're going to wind up taking a win for the boats, even though it was a slow roll out of the inlet. And that's going to bring us to the second round of our competition, and the boats take an early 1-0 edge. But here in the second round, the boats are going to toss a Monterey in the ring to see if they can go ahead and keep that momentum going. And here we go, but this doesn't look good. Cap's got everybody in the bow of the boat. That's a lot of weight up front, and they wind up stuffing it. And the stuffings continue as he can't really get on plane with that many people up there, and that extra weight just makes it even worse, as you can see here, as they wind up just nosediving through those waves, and everybody in the bow winds up completely drenched on this one, and Cap's gonna have to try and get them all to the back of the boat, see if he can get it up on plane and get some of that water to start draining back toward the bilge. But man, they're still taking water over the bow, and that's where these things get a little risky, because all that weight starts adding up, and the next thing you know, you can't get on plane and you'll wind up in a really bad spot. But the one thing that's pretty surprising to me still, even after he's moved everybody to the back, I was for sure we were going to see that patented Haulover U-turn, because they've taken on a ton of water here. And unfortunately for this crew, as he continues to work his way out, he continues to take on more. But here we'll go back to the aerial replay on this, and you can see that stuffing, that first one is just liquid gold going all over this boat. The Haulover Deckrins at its finest, but they just continue to get pounded and pounded as they work their way out on this one. I mean, it is unbelievable how much water this boat took on, but the real surprising thing here, I don't see the bilge pump turning on. Typically, when I would see something like this, we'd see the bilge starting to kick water out the side of the boat, but nowhere do we see that, which is just wild, and it makes me think he didn't check his bilge pump before he left, and it's probably not working. Obviously, we got several things going on here, but we know this crew takes a loss, but they really break both rules. They wind up stuffing the bow, the kids were in the bow of the boat with no life jackets on, and unfortunately for the boats, they wind up going down in this round. And that is going to bring us to the third round of our competition, and we are now tied at 1 apiece. And here in the third round, the boats are going to toss a Midnight Express into the ring to try and see if they can get back on the board. And here we go. Our crew's going to start making their approach toward Haulover. They got to watch out for that yacht wake right there as well. Sometimes it'll throw some of these guys off, and he's going to try and plow his way through it, but he's got a great pace. He's not blasting his way toward the mouth of the inlet, but he's going just fast enough that he's keeping that bow extremely raised, which is going to give him a great entry point as he tries to cut through this following sea and work his way into the mouth of Haulover. Here they open up the throttles just a little bit at the end, but this crew looks like they're going to have no issues whatsoever and will wind up taking a win for the boats, and that's going to give the boats the 2-1 edge as we move into the fourth round of our contest. And here in the fourth round, the boats are going to toss an Axopar in the ring to try and see if it can knock Haulover out early, or if Haulover can get back into this contest. And they're having a little bit of a rough start. Cap really needs to lay into the throttle on this one and let this boat eat. These Axopars actually really like it when you get on the throttle, let that sharp bow entry do its job, and cut through the waves. And our crew is finally up on the throttle, the boat's up on plane, and they're going to wind up sneaking their way out, surprisingly. And I think the boats are going to take a win here in the fourth round, and that's going to be it. Haulover's going to get knocked out of this one early as they go down 3-1 in 4 rounds, and the boats take the win in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.